Hello, this is Tina Lizzio. Welcome again to my Lead What You Live podcast. I'm here at the Podcast Junkie studio in Boca Raton, Florida, and I am beyond excited today, like I am for every interview, but in particular, when I get the opportunity to banter and have a great conversation, not only with someone who is a leader in their field, but also a dear friend that I get to work with. It's just like bonus, bonus, bonus. So I'm super excited today to have a conversation. I will try not to laugh too much. We're going to have fun with Ellen Taracido, my dear friend Ellen of 15 years. Welcome to Lead What You Live.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. I met Ellen 15 years ago here in Florida. I was actually going through a divorce at the time, and she had just left a 20-year career, successful career in the garment business in New York City, and she was moving down to Florida, making a change, came down with her dog and to Fort Lauderdale and started a career in real estate. She worked for Sotheby's, won Sotheby's for many, many years. She started her own brokerage with a partner, and she is now currently, and I am part of her Taracido group with Compass, Florida. So we are going to talk about all things real estate, financing, fun, family, relationships, and, excuse my French, the fuckery that goes on in relationships and communication, both in our personal and professional worlds. So welcome. Without further ado, Ellen, I don't even know where to begin, but where I do want to begin is where we met. So 15 years ago, you leave New York City, a successful career in garment, and you come down to Florida. Tell me about that.
Well, I think I just had enough. I needed a change. It was the same old, same old. I mean, looking back, what a fabulous same old, same old. I mean, living in Manhattan, the Hamptons in the summer, winters in Vermont, and all those great things. But I just wanted more from my life, and I felt like I needed a change. I needed to shake something up. So that's what I did. I just said, you know what? Selling everything, put everything in storage, came down to Florida. Didn't even know where I wanted to live. So we have that mutual friend.
Yes.
And she's like, come visit me in Fort Lauderdale. So I came to Fort Lauderdale and loved it instantly. I said, okay, that's it.
Did you know you wanted to get your real estate license and pursue a path?
I came here blind without any kind of a plan. I just had money in my pocket, thankfully. And I just knew I'd figure it out. I had no doubt. And just came and said, okay, you know what? I love real estate. I had my license in New York. I didn't utilize it because I was very successful in the garment industry and making a lot of money. It was hard to leave that and start new. Of course. Like, especially in New York with real estate and co-ops, could take months and months and months before you sell a place, really. So I knew I loved it and said, you know what? I'm going to try it. And the worst time to be a real estate agent in 2008, 2009.
Exactly. You moved here in the height of the mortgage, quote unquote, mortgage crisis and what we were going through as the prices were plummeting.
Yeah, no one was buying. Everyone was just not even selling. They were just leaving keys at the door and running. So it was really more of a rental market. Like, that's how I kind of got started. And, you know, as far as like all that, I have to say I was shocked to learn that in Florida, realtors write the contracts. I was just beside myself. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I have to write the contract? I just got my license. I'm
right. In New York, it's attorneys, right?
Attorneys write them. So I was completely in awe and figured, oh my God, this is a horrible time, but a great time to at least study and really deep dive and get to learn all of the paperwork, which is what I did. And I took that time to really just hone in and know exactly all the paperwork, because if you don't know the paperwork, then it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh boy. And we'll get into that. The paperwork and the devil is in the details with the with all contracts, right?
Oh my God. It's crazy.
One of the main things that my mother, and I've said this before, those of you who have seen my podcast, and I give my mother credit for teaching me and my sisters too. She said, I got 2 words for you for 99% of all your success, and that's to pay attention. If you just pay attention, and in particular, like, what are you signing? Actually read. Are you actually reading, the documents and before you sign on the dotted line? And Ellen is amazing and amazing support when it comes to because it's a big part of the transaction. Yes, without listings and without clients who are looking to buy properties, there is no business, of course, to be had.
Right.
But once you have you do have an executed contract, even to get to that point, it's really important. All the terms that people don't even realize that are actually negotiable as well.
Exactly.
You have your
And
negotiable
timelines, really important.
timelines, huge. And there
They don't
are
understand it. They don't understand all the timelines that are literally pre-written in the contract. So you have to know those things. If you don't read the contract, then you're never going to know what the timelines are. So you can really get yourself in trouble, your buyer or seller in trouble. You really need to know what's going on.
Yes. And so I see it as like you went in just like you did the garment business. And so, and went, all in, deep dive, learning, you know what, I really like this. I'm going to go with it. And things did turn around. It was a perfect time to learn because then within a couple of years you're ramped up. And so Fort Lauderdale is great. You're right in between the Miami-Dade County, Palm Beach County where we are right now, and this whole South Florida sort of 75-mile strip in particular on the East Coast has been booming, the past 15 to 20 years. In particular, of course, COVID 5 years ago, we saw a big influx of people moving here. And so tell me, do you feel are those transferable skills? So when you think, is it sales? Is it the aspect of being a good people person, communicator, salesperson? Like what from garment have you taken to and has you be so successful in real estate?
I think all of the above. It really is. And the details. You have to be detail oriented to be successful in the garment industry also. I mean, you have to know just the timelines of, let's say, a jean. Like, what does it take to make a jean? You have to make sure the color's right, the stitching is right, the buttons are right, the fit is right, and you have timelines for that too. So, I think everything just transferred over beautifully for
Right.
real estate. It was an easy transition, and I got to see beautiful homes, which was, always a passion, looking at architectural digests and things like that. And so it was like really putting my skills with things that I really love and putting them together. So I'm very lucky.
Where do you see where are we now? Like where do you see? And by the way, so I work with the Taracido group. So I have, had for many years my real estate and mortgage licenses. And so I have worked with Ellen both in the financing, providing financing for some of her clients on referral, as well as working with her team, both in the past with her own brokerage and now at Compass. And so I really look to Ellen as sort of the expert in that area. I am busy in my life strategy coaching and other things that I do that my many different interests. So where are we now?
As far as just how business
Here we are. It is the end of summer. We're late August, right? Late August 2025. And so in terms of the real estate market, it seems that it has come the first half of 2025. Trump went into office in January to a standstill. Where are we?
We're not really in a standstill. I'd like to say that, with the mortgage rates that went up, and I think that we're in a correction. So it's not everything during COVID was insane, right? Like where houses, let's say, for instance, were $500,000 before COVID, became $1 million during COVID, and now we're in a correction, but we're still over that $500,000 price point. We're maybe in the middle. So it is a little bit of a correction, but we still have a lot of buyers coming to Florida. On an average right now, there's 800 people per day. So they're still coming. It's just not in the droves that they were during COVID. And then, of course, we have the condos, situations with condos. God help us, that poor Surfside and what happened there. Really,
The collapse of Champlain Towers.
absolutely horrific. And now, there's these laws in place, and they're very specific, making sure that every building is safe. So, that with the media, of course, all over it has really hurt the condo business as far as sales. Buildings really need to step up, thank God, and they are. But with that, and because they deferred all of this maintenance, that a lot of the owners now are suffering with these really high maintenance fees or assessments to fix what needed to be fixed. But I think, this is just a transition, really.
I think it's its own correction.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
correction. It needed it. It always
right.
needed it. Like you can't have a building like with rebar
I
sticking out. What is that? And they just
Absolutely.
totally
And
didn't
I
do
know
anything
about
about it.
this firsthand, having a condo on the ocean and a 50-year-old building on the ocean. And thankfully, we had our engineering reports and everything evaluated right before that collapse, because the cost of of repairs had to get everything up to code have gone through the roof, of course, the demand and need. So there's a 40-year recertification or process that is required of the building?
Not anymore. Right now, if you need to have an inspection report, a milestone inspection. If you're 25 miles, I'm sorry, 3 miles from the beach, 25 years, and if it's further than 3 miles from the beach, then it's 30 years. So right now, you got to get this stuff done. If a building's approaching 25 years and you're
So
within
it's
that
25 years, not even,
within
okay.
the getting to the beach or whatever, to the ocean and waterfront, it's 25 years. And you need to have that milestone. You need the SIRS, which is the structural integrity report, and have money in reserve for any of those things that it got. Listen, best case scenario, everything's great with the building, but you still need money and reserves to put down in case you need to do concrete restoration or new hallways or new elevator or new AC or new
The
water,
elevators are
everything.
expensive. The cost of the insurance.
Yes,
So the
insurance has gone
insurance
up,
cost
of
is
course.
really, really high.
Everywhere insurance has gone up. Even a single family home, it's with all the tragedies, the hurricanes, the wildfires in California, everywhere. We're going through a
Nationwide going
nationwide
through.
insurance problem.
Right. So in the condo market or gated community living, you have a big part of that, the cost of the maintenance is for the insurance coverage.
Correct.
And then also, again, in condos, many condos did not have full reserves.
No.
So again, I was in a condo, didn't have full reserves. It's 50 years old. What was supposed to take a year and a half took 3 years. Everything takes longer and costs more than anticipated. That's even if you're renovating, your own house half the time. The good news is, and yes, the cost of the monthly HOA goes up. The good news is when it's all over, it's amazing.
Yeah, the building's safe.
It's restored, it's safe, you're in reserves, and you adjust.
Yeah.
We adjust.
It needed to be done. It really did. I mean, it's horrific that even happened. That had to occur for this to happen. I mean, everyone was just kicking the can down the road, like, oh, it only costs $400 a month to run the place. And they would go to the boards, and the boards would say,
Nobody wants to spend money.
and we need to increase it so we have money, in a kitty for, God forbid, something. And
Right.
everyone said, no, let's just keep it the way it is. You'll do an assessment. Well, they just kept kicking it, and that's what happened. You can't kick that can. You have to have money in the bank, period.
Unfortunately, it's almost like that had to happen in Surfside to wake up, the need to address the entire issue up and down the coastline.
Yeah, but with that, and that's so true. But unfortunately, there's some really great buildings that have always been on the up and up and square. But with the press being the way it is, they're not helping, because there's some really great condos that have no issues and that are also slow in sales just because of the press. So, yes, condo maintenance has come up, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
There are
great
great
places to live.
opportunities. There are great
That's where the
opportunities, whether it's a
opportunity is.
primary. Again, we live in the state of, thank you, no city and state income tax. We are one in the state still, and that's it. That is a huge benefit. And the palm trees and the sunshine and the surf and sand is awesome. So I've been here for 20 years, grew up in the Northeast, went to school there, lived in New York also for many years with my first career on Wall Street. And so I love it. It's hard to ever leave. It's like at least you need to be here at least half the time. So I see the draw for people doing also the back and forth between Florida and the Northeast. So people will continue. The housing market is going to continue. It's my belief. We have the largest segment of the population are aging baby boomers. So they are moving south from the north to warmer climates, right?
But even families. I mean, it doesn't have
Families,
to be
because
older.
with technology, COVID showed us how much we're able to do with technology. So you don't have to, grind it out in, the concrete cities. You can come and sit on the beach with your laptop and make millions of dollars. Just listen to those influencers on TikTok and Instagram making a fortune from wherever,
That's true. It's true.
right?
Florida's a great place to live. And it'll continue to be that. So right now it's a good opportunity. It is a buyer's market. So for you buyers, contact us. We're realtors. We can help you.
Now, you are a realtor, but you are also, and you're an agent. You're also a broker.
Yes.
You did, again, work for a top firm for years. You created before COVID your own brokerage with a partner, someone you had worked with before. And then you sort of severed that tie with that partner and went back to work for Compass, which the technology is like second to none. It's really amazing, amazing. And so TaracidoGroup.com. TaracidoGroup.com to find Ellen and see what they're up to and what we have going on here in South Florida, and what Compass supports. But Ellen, tell me, what are the pros and cons of partnership, starting your own boutique sort of partnership versus affiliating with a big firm and not being your own thing?
I'm thrilled to be with Compass. I'm very happy. Everything's great. I'm so grateful. Period.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. In general, what are some of the things? It's not just in your particular experience of a partnership, but it just what we know out there that happens in breakdowns when people go into partnership. I mean, I know I see most often it's usually an imbalance in sort of the work ethic.
Yes.
One person tends to be doing the lion's share of the work, and then resentments build, and it's like, what have you done for me lately? What exactly are you bringing to the table, kind of thing.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You really, that's why if you don't really know somebody, it's like being married. That's why there's divorces, right? Because you think you know somebody, but you really don't know somebody. So until you're really married to that person, you don't know the pain points, right? You don't know where the shoe pinches. But
and you spend more time with a business partner, often people do, than they do their spouse, their intimate partner.
Yeah. So no, it's yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
Do your own business. Be your own
Yeah,
boss.
do your own business, and then have your support. Have your people that work with you and for you, yes.
Yep.
And to get the support that you need, but not necessarily, in partnership. There are so many things.
Yep.
I know, in my personal life also, and when I was married, there was a partnership there, a business partnership, and that fell apart. And really, the business partnership can also cause lots of pain and problems in your personal life.
Yeah.
Financial and other, and a lot of business partnerships or breakdowns can cause divorces.
Yeah. I can see that.
Can end up leading to breakdown.
Knock on wood, I didn't have any of those issues, thank
Right.
God. But yeah, I could see that for sure. Yeah. It was tough, the end was tough, but it was such a relief.
Of course.
When it was done.
Of course.
Does that make sense? Like,
so are divorces.
Yeah. Exactly. It's such a
Thank
relief.
you.
Yes.
Lessons and blessings for the experience, right?
Everything's good. Everything's
everything
fine.
is
Everything's
right.
better.
It's for our higher good and for evolution.
Yep.
So now look at your even next level, what you bring to a firm, having being a broker and having, you bring so much more.
Yeah,
knowledge
really
and experience and the wisdom that comes from it. And you also teach a course on ethics.
Yeah, I do. I'm I because again that New York thing, and when I got here, I was so, scared to make a mistake, especially because I think that real estate, for many people, that's the largest investment they're ever going to make, right? It's like the biggest thing that they're going to do in their life. So I really didn't want to fuck it up, excuse my French.
Right.
So I really learned the paperwork and learned everything that I needed to learn. But having said that, seeing like people who have been doing it, like, I've been doing this 30 years. I'm like, oh my God, you've been doing it wrong for 30 years. And I was just so awakened by, wow, like there's a lot of bad agents out there. So I wanted to learn more, and I got involved with the grievance committee at my board, and then I became for professional standards, and with professional standards is the code of ethics, and they asked me to be an instructor for the code of ethics. And so I became a Florida director on top of that to learn more about HOAs and insurance and just the rules and regulations and again, all the paperwork and all the changes and policies. And I love it so much. And I'm very fortunate that I do know a lot. And because of getting my broker's license and learning that end of it, it really heightened everything. Just, I feel like I bring so much more to the table. So I am grateful for the lessons of being a broker and running a business and having that other perspective I never would have had if I didn't do it. So for that, I'm super grateful.
Because being a realtor, real estate agent is sort of this independent contractor type of position. You're out there. Some people are doing big business, some are doing marginal business. How much control does a broker really have over what their agents are out there doing?
It's none, I think.
I mean, honestly,
I'm kidding.
it's like rogue agents out there.
It really is. I mean, you hope that you hire a really knowledgeable agent, but you don't know until, again, sometimes you're in trouble, and then an agent has to, the broker has to come up and really try to fix things. And hopefully it is fixable, but if not, there's always an attorney. So we got that, but hopefully it never gets there. But yeah, no.
Is there enough training in leadership, in communication skills?
I don't know. It depends on people.
For agents. I'm saying in general, do you think it would be beneficial to have more workshops or training on the way of interacting, with clients, with other agents, how people are, whether we're sending text messages versus emails? I mean, I guess if anything is right in writing is, a text hold up as well as what's written. Yes.
Text.
In an email.
It's in writing. And the board, at least, the Broward Palm Beaches and St. Lucie Realtors, they absolutely do amazing training for multiple things. I mean, it doesn't matter whether.
But agents have to be aware and want to take the time and attend it.
You got to do the work. It's available to them at all times, even virtually. I mean, they could take a class online. They can do it with a pre-recorded class and learn. And if you don't take the time, you don't take the time, and that's a problem.
The tendency is most people, if not required, because real estate does require a continuing ed every other year as an industry 14 standard.
14 hours, yes.
14 hours every other year to maintain the license. But there's like what you read, like you read, you take the exam on it, and then there's the application, because we are bombarded with information, aren't we, out there? Tools, tips, tricks, strategies. Yeah. And all of this information, but knowledge not applied.
Right. Well, it's like anything. You can get your driver's license, but it doesn't make you a good driver, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so it takes practice. So you have to be in it and learn and want to actively learn and ask the questions. But the first place to start is read what you're sending out for people to sign. I mean, you have to know what you're sending and understand that so that you can explain it to whoever it is that you're working with.
What are the big misses you see in some of the contracts?
Oh God, there's so many. I think deposits, loan approvals, inspection periods, and not extending them if you need more time and just letting it lapse, and then the escrow monies become in question, and then they are fighting for it. So it can get really ugly and contentious for sure.
And it's all preventable.
Of course.
I mean, it's not necessary.
If you just know your timeline, you just ask for an extension. If they don't give you an extension, you cancel the contract, move on. As long as you know what the timelines are and what you wrote, you're good.
What do you think about renting versus owning?
I think that not everybody's got the 20% down, right? But thankfully, there's mortgages that, if you qualify, you can do 3.5% or 5%. But sometimes I can't speak for everybody, but maybe they're not good at saving. I don't know what prevents them. But I honestly believe owning is better than renting, because renting, you'll never get it back. You'll never get it back. So you buy a property, you're going to get, if you don't make money, which you should make money. I mean, that's why all these super net worth individual buy real estate, because
Average rate of return, I think, over the
Yeah.
last 40, 50 years is sort of a continued 5+% a
Yeah.
year on the appreciation, of your real estate. And you also, you're building equity there.
yeah. And you also have a tax write-off with the interest payments and things like that. So I think it's beneficial. Renting is fine. I did it also.
What about if you are renting, though, your primary, and you buy an investment property instead that puts off rental income, produces rental income for you? So you're actually renting, but the one that you buy is an investment property so that you can make money off
I
your
guess
property.
it depends
that
what
way.
you're buying. I mean, again,
Right.
you don't have the homestead exemption, so taxes can go up a
Will be
lot.
higher for an investment property. Yes, that's true.
Yep, and you also have to put more down because it's investment. You can't do 3.5%.
Right.
So, I mean,
The down payment
whatever.
investment is
Yeah.
greater. It's just
Yeah.
about like crunching the
So
numbers.
it just depends. If you get lucky and get a great price, and then the rents are supersonic high, that's a no-brainer. But usually, again, real estate's not cheap down here. It's not Manhattan, but it's still
The prices have gone
It's not
up, yeah.
Iowa either, right? So
Right.
you're not buying a 3-bedroom home for $350.
But I always joke with people, and I'm like, well, I could move to Kansas and get so much more for my money.
Yeah, but you're living in
Wonderful.
Kansas.
Go live in the cornfields and, for $100,000 for a house. That's awesome. I don't really want to live and be children of the corn.
Yeah, I mean, some people like it. Nothing against Kansas.
No, not at all. Just the
But
Midwest, there's a
that's
lot
not
of
what
places.
I wanna live, right.
Right.
I need
right.
to be near the beach.
Landlocked. I need to be near water, and there's a cost, obviously.
I love palm trees.
Right, me too. I've always loved palm trees. Coming down here for Florida vacations, growing up or during college spring break, it's like Fort Lauderdale for spring break. And now it's like, I'm going to get back there and live there. So how awesome to wake up every day.
We're
and
so lucky.
We live
I
in
love it.
paradise and get to
We're on vacation
get
every
to
day,
work get to
basically.
work here. Exactly. So what about all the transplants? Like here we are in South Florida,
I
and
love
most
it.
people are from somewhere else
I
and
love it.
mostly points north. So it's like you're relating to our
We're in the
people,
sixth
but down
borough. We're in the sixth borough. We call it the sixth borough of New York. I love that my people are here. I'm so excited. Listen, I love Boston and Philadelphia, but we have, all kinds of people. But I love that we have a lot of New Yorkers that move down here. It makes me feel at home.
Yeah. Okay. Except for the uninsured motorists and the crazy drivers on like
we
9
are
to
in
5.
the wild, wild west. That's for sure.
It is the wild, wild west. So what is the crazy town of like most relationships? Where do we see like the biggest breakdowns in relationship, like with people when we're dealing with other agents and we're dealing with clients and, tenants who are uncooperative, allowing the seller to get people in to see their property and BS like that. It's
frustrating.
just working with other agents. Someone's bringing the buyer. You've got the listing and the communication breakdowns there.
Yeah, I feel that ego is probably the number
big time.
one issue. Everyone wants to be a big shot, and I think that they forget that we need the other agent. I mean, the chances of you having both sides, I don't know, what is it, 5%? So 95% of the time, you need another agent to bring that person to you, or you to bring that to them. So it is collaborative, but they just push and it's just like, oh,
Who's got more of an ego? The listing agents, right? Over someone who's acting as a buyer's agent? What do you think? Both.
I've seen them both. Yeah.
What's the ego all about?
I don't know. I just don't know. I can never get a handle of that.
Well, we live in a world of people wondering whether they matter or if they're enough. So it's, I guess it's any industry really wanting to
Be right. They want to be
seen,
right.
be right.
They want to be
Want
right.
to be right and in control.
And
I want to be in
they're
control.
wrong, they still want. They won't.
I
say
want
they're
to be
wrong.
right at all costs. They want to be dead right. They'll be right till the death.
It's like anything. They, like a marriage, a husband, whatever. It doesn't matter. If
That
they're
is
wrong.
the biggest
They're never
breakdown,
Gonna say I'm
yeah.
wrong. They're just nope, and they just dig their heels in the sand, and that's that. You're in trouble.
It's so important to be open-minded to others' perspectives. I don't have to agree. It's like one in that, let's agree to disagree, but at least respectfully wanting to put yourself in the other person's shoes to at least hear, hear their perspective.
And I think
Because we're filtering through our own lens of our own worldview and perspective and life experiences and stuff, everything.
But what's more importantly, what I think is really the crime is that agents sometimes forget that this is not the house they're buying or selling. You're representing somebody,
Yes.
and you have to keep their interest paramount. Always, it's their interest. It's not about me. Has nothing to do with me. It's like, what does my customer want? And that's what is always paramount. So when an ego comes into play, I know instantly that they're now just going into some guttural id moment. Like it's not. I'm like, did you talk to your customer about that? Are you sure? And I don't know what happens. It's
Do you
just a
think?
breakdown.
Do you think how much do the commissions play? The compensation in a particular deal impact the sway towards,
For me, it never did. I mean,
Right.
now since August 17th of last year, it was mandated that, we have a buyer
I wanted you to
brokerage
talk
agreement.
about this because a lot of people don't know about this. This is a huge change in the industry just 1 year ago, last August. So could you explain to the viewers about that?
Well, there's a big case, the Moher case, and they won. And the change is that we must, as a buyer's agent, have a buyer brokerage agreement or a showing agreement, and you have to have that signed by the buyer so that it's transparent about what they're going to be paid, like your realtor is going to be paid. And then it was on the MLS. It used to be like, on the MLS, if you'd look for property on, it would say 3%, 2%, 2.5%.
How much was being paid to a buyer's agent for bringing a buyer?
It was on there. Now that had to be removed. So now you go in and you're blind. You have no idea what the seller is willing to compensate until you have a conversation with that listing agent and say, hey, what's the seller willing to?
And by the way, a big thing to understand about this particular case came about is that sellers are not required. No. It's not on them to pay to compensate a buyer's agent. It sort of became this is just the way it is. They're paying the listing agent and they're also paying the buyer's agent.
But also more importantly is that compensation was never set in stone. It was always negotiable all the way down, like all the way through. But I guess it wasn't clear enough. So now they just put all these strict rules so that it's very clear, like this is what I'm getting paid. And the buyer knows what their realtor is getting paid because that's incorporated, let's say, into the sale price. So they know that they're paying,
the seller knows.
The buyer too for a mortgage, they're paying, even though they're not paying out of their pocket, it's in the sale price. So that sale price includes compensation for their realtor. So that increases the sale price, right? Unless it's cash. I always say if you have a cash buyer, then let the cash buyer just pay you directly and not roll it into the sale price because there's a few things there, win-win there, that, the documentary stamps will go down, the property taxes will go down because the sale price is lower. But, if with a mortgage, that's many times not possible, so you roll it into the sale price. So now it's just more transparent.
Right. Now it's more transparent. But also part of that agreement is basically saying to a buyer that this is, I will be compensated X amount of dollars,
Whether
because
you pay me or the seller will pay.
Yes, exactly.
And again,
so if the seller
conversation.
is not paying, and most of the time we expect that the seller is still going to pay because that's kind of the way it always has been, and it's somehow it'll be impacted, like you said, in the price of the property.
But it's open. Now it's open.
Right, now it's open. And so how has that changed for buyers agents?
Nothing's really changed too much.
Nothing? They didn't shy away from, oh, geez, now I got to get my buyers to be willing to sign something that says that they're going to pay me even if the seller's not. Do you think that does keep some buyers from wanting to sign that document to work with a buyer's agent?
Who are they going to work with then?
Well, how is technology? How is the advancements in technology had people being able to get the information that they need and just call listing agents directly?
Yeah, but they still have to sign a non-relationship disclosure. They're going to have to do something. I mean,
Right.
this was very commonplace, I believe, up north in the central states, they were always dealing with a buyer brokerage agreement, and we weren't. So
We in
it's
Florida, being in
right.
Florida, yeah.
All over the country a lot of times also. So now I'm not I think that it's normal. I don't even think about it. I'm like, hey, you got to sign this. This is what I'm getting paid. And, I mean, I'm really with a lot of referral business and, repeat customers. So they know my worth. If you don't know someone, you might have to say, well, this is what I do, and go through the whole spiel of like, this is what I'm going to do for you. So this is why I feel I need to get paid this. But even that's negotiable. You could sign at 5%, 3%, whatever with a buyer, but then at the end of the day, to make the deal, you're going to do what's best for all parties. And if you have to lower the commission, you lower it. I mean, we're all just trying to. I mean, at least
Make a deal
make
happen.
a deal. I'm just, I'm here for also to help people. Like I feel like I'm bringing a service to you. Like I'm getting you your dream home. I'm going to work my ass off to get you the property that you want. So if that means I have to shave off a little bit, I'll shave off a little bit.
What's the top advice that you would give to realtors? Like when what are they? Do you want to make sure that they're focused on, and what do they need to know? I mean, especially in the area of ethics.
Well,
What cannot be overstated?
know your paperwork. Please know your paperwork. Know your timeline and communicate. Communication's everything in any relationship, whether it's with a
You
business
can't
partner
over
You
communicate.
can't. You just communicate.
Yeah.
Don't be a secret agent. Be an agent. Be like, talk about it. Like if there's an issue, there's an inspection issue, talk to the other agent. See what's possible. Like how can you come to the middle? How can you make all parties happy? Because a lot of times you have to give and take a little bit. But if you could just
How
get
can
a
we
meeting
always
of
keep
the
in mind a win-win?
Yeah.
How can everybody win here?
Yeah, and there's agents who don't. You send an offer and you never hear from that other agent.
It is
It's
incredible.
incredible. I'm like, what?
Well, it's incredible to me how many properties I've taken people to find a look at properties, and there's a lockbox on there, and the listing agent is not there.
Well, I'm there.
Which, on the
don't
one hand, it's a
necessarily
great way
disagree
to
with
see
that.
a property without a person having to be everywhere.
Right.
But you'll see it a lot, not wanting to necessarily make the effort. And so, if I'm selling a property and
I
there's
always
some other agent,
Right.
they're showing the property, I'm paying somebody who's going to get compensated regardless.
Right. Well, yeah, but I don't know. I can't comment on that because I don't know if it was just that day that they didn't show. I mean, I know that I like to show my listings all the time, but if in the event that I can't, I do have a lockbox. Why? Because I need to get this property in front of as many eyes as possible. And if that means that like I'm working with you, let's say, and someone wants to see something, I'm not going to say no. Sorry, you got to come back tomorrow. Like I'll say, okay, there's a lockbox, and I'll give all the instructions. So it does happen, and I can't comment on other realtors if that's their business, because that's not how I run my business. I'm
Right.
not going to.
I just see that a lot. Maybe seeing that more in rentals. We might tend to see that more, of course, when selling in rentals than selling a property. But got to know the paperwork.
And the timelines and communicate, acknowledge, be like it's in the preamble of the code of ethics it says the golden rule is to do unto others as do as you would want to be done to you, right? So treat people the way you want to be treated, and I think that's the golden rule in any business or any relationship. Like don't
Be thinking more about what you can give,
yeah
not what you're going to get.
yeah
Think about what you can give, because in that sort of universal law of karma and reciprocity, actually what you do give, you get back, and it does multiply.
yeah
If you see it that way. But we are in a unfortunate, there are a lot of people that are takers who are looking about like, what am I going to get out of this? Type of mentality. So it's just an invitation to be more open-minded, communicative, more about what you can give. And I say it's not a competition. How can we be more cooperative and collaborative than thinking about things in a competitive way?
right
I think that's huge.
yeah
Right?
I mean you really just
It all
have,
comes back. Maybe I do
does.
for you and it doesn't benefit me, but it will come back to me through someone else or from you at another point in time.
a referral, anything. When you have a good reputation, it follows you, and then people
Absolutely.
talk about you and they want to work with you, and that's really
That
the
has been my
everything.
success,
Yeah.
has absolutely just how I show up in relationship with people. And then people see your work ethic, how you do business, how you communicate, how you operate. And if they feel the authenticity and that you generally, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
It's like, what value, what's in it for me? What is it? It's not, it's that what's in it for me, WIIFM. So in your message, a lot of times in the messaging, it's people saying what they do. Let me tell you what I do. Okay. We're listening from, okay, I got it. I hear what you do, but what is it that you can do for me? That's what each individual really, cares about. And so this applies also to our personal relationships, because I think for our next conversation, for damn sure, we got to go into the fun craziness of friendships and family and personal partnerships and all of the cuckoo banana land, I call it, that we live in, the world we live in relationships. Because I got to tell you, all I do is sit there, and every single day I need like a notebook so I can just write down the funny shit that happens. It's like funny, not funny.
Yeah.
That like
if you don't laugh, you'll kill yourself.
yeah, it's just like wow. Like, well, that's a new one. Like that's next level, right? Didn't think of that one before. You got me. So thank you, love. I am so fortunate that I love it when I get to work with people that are also my good friends. I mean, is there anything better without
feel
being
so lucky. Yeah.
Right. So we're in relationship, we work together, we're not partners, but we support each other, and that's like the best combination. Like work for yourself, unless you have to. That's a huge takeaway there. And pay attention. Pay attention to what you're saying, what you're doing, who's around you, and your energy. You hear me say everything is energy. So for me, my energy is everything, and I get to keep my energy high so that I can bring my best forth for others and make a difference, because I always have a desire to inspire. So signing off for today, you can find me, TinaLizzio.com. And again, we are at TaracidoGroup.com. Come see what's going on there in South Florida real estate and beyond. Ciao for now.
Bye.